Welcome back, everybody. Our podcast today is full of knitting, crocheting, and embroidery, along with a special happy mail and some other acquisitions. If you're interested in those things, check it out. Welcome back into Delphine's Handcrafted. I'm Deborah.
I'm Jasmine.
And we have a lot in store for you today, including our finished objects and whips, some acquisitions. So I want to begin by showing you my finished object, which I had not started during the last podcast that we did. We had discussed doing the same shawl with the Will of Alpaca from Hobby, and I don't have the colorway I used, but I will put it here on the video so that you can see it. I'll look it up. And this is the Plaisir, and I'm probably saying that incorrectly, pattern, but you can find it on Ravelry, but you have to click a link and it takes you to...
It's a free pattern.
It is a free pattern. It takes you to like the main website that it's on. The pattern was written originally in another language, so when it's translated into English, it says some odd things in it, such as knit quietly. But it's very clear what it wants you to do. There were a couple of errors that I found that were pretty easily recognized very quickly. So that was easy to manage. If you knitted before and followed patterns before, you should probably be able to figure it out pretty quickly, which she actually wants you to do. So this is the pattern on Franny here. It's a lace pattern. It does have some bobbles, and I'm not sure if you can see the bobbles. They are so tiny, I'm not sure that they actually are even needed in this pattern. Maybe if it was a different yarn, I don't know. But there were bobbles. Not my favorite part of the pattern.
This was also your first time doing bobbles, so there might not be as much definition as there could be, maybe? I don't know. Maybe,
but that definitely was not my favorite part of the pattern. You definitely, if you use this pattern, need something to keep track of the line you're on, because every single line is different. I was highlighting mine as I went through it so that I didn't miss any.
So it is like a row by row. It's written row by row, but in the pattern it does say, and I don't know if this is still a thing, but in the pattern it does say that there's a Facebook group that has charts for it.
I didn't use the chart. I used the row by row, but yes, every row was different. The odd rows on the majority of it was just a knit stitch. Or was it a purl stitch? I can't remember. I finished this a little while ago.
Purl.
It's a purl stitch. So the back on every other row for the majority of the shawl is just a purl stitch the whole way across. So that was pretty simple.
Yeah, because it's a lace pattern, so wrong sides on lace patterns are purls.
So I will inject a picture showing you the back and front so that you can see what it looks like on Franny, and we'll continue on to see what Jasmine has finished.
My finished object is a hat that I made using leftovers from a colorwork t-shirt that I'm knitting, and I started off using the Musselburgh or Musselburgh, however you pronounce it, pattern, and I knew I was going to run out of yarn, so I just made it a fold-over brim hat. A very long one, so it's a bit slouchy, but I think it looks fine. It looks a bit weird whenever it's not on the head because it's so long.
I like it. I think it's a pretty color. You gonna keep that for yourself?
Well, did you want it? I was planning on keeping it for myself. No, I just wondered
if you were going to give it to anybody. Very nice. So that's our finished objects. And while we only have 2 finished objects, we have been very, very busy. So next we will be discussing our works in progress. So first work in progress that I wanted to show you is my Aurora cabin shawl, which you can't see the whole thing because it's getting so big. But I have gotten quite a bit more done on it. My goal during the last podcast was to just do a row a day. That's not how I did it. I sort of went crazy and did a bunch at one time and then took a break again. But last time I was just at the beginning of this section, and I've done up to there. So I cannot show you the whole thing, as I said, but it is getting pretty big. And I'm still liking it. I actually enjoy doing this. I just think I need to take breaks sometimes from it. But I do enjoy doing it. It really isn't a hard pattern.
No.
It just, yeah. Once you understand what you're to do on each section, it's pretty easy. So that's getting continued. It's going to be a while before it's done because these rows are very, very, very long and take a lot of time, don't they? Once you start getting bigger. The next work in progress that I wanted to show you was a child's sweater. Now, last year I had said around Christmas time, next year I want to start Christmas presents early, and I decided I needed to get started on those if I want to make some nice things. So the first thing I chose was a sweater for my granddaughter, and of course I have to make it in a larger size, so hopefully it fits her in December. The one I chose is the Sylvestries Child Sweater by Anne B Hanssen, and I got this on Ravelry. It is a paid for pattern. I can't remember how much it cost. It wasn't very much, a couple dollars. So I have everything except for one arm done. So I'm one sleeve short. There's just a yarn there keeping that sleeve together, or that hole together for me. So this is my child's sweater. I enjoy doing this. I did have to really be careful, probably with any cable pattern. Like with any cable pattern, make sure my stitches were exactly right. And when I first started, I actually took it all out after I did about 4 or 5 rows where they had the cables because I wasn't quite getting it. But once I got on track, it was easy to see where I was supposed to be going with it. Now this is made, do you remember what it's called from, I got this yarn at Michael's. It's the baby.
I don't know. Is it
Baby Delight? Baby Delight.
I was about to say it's either Baby Soft or Baby Delight.
Yeah, the Baby Delight that we got on clearance. It's like a peachy color. So I'm enjoying it. One more sleeve to go and some ends to weave in, and I will be done. Once you get done with the cabling, it's just the basic stockinette stitch. Yeah. So very pretty. I'm enjoying it. I'm planning on making another one for her sister. This is actually the baby's, but she'll be not so much of a baby next year. I'm going to make the exact same sweater for her sister, probably in a different color, since they, at least their mom seems to think they want the same kind of outfit. So I'm not sure if it's the child or the mom, but that's my second work in progress. I'm enjoying that one too. The last work in progress that I've been working on is a crochet item, and it is the All in the Family blanket that you can find free on Yarnspirations. I think that's what's called, Yarnspirations. So. The pattern is free. You also can find tutorials from start to finish on the Crochet Crowd, so I will link those both below. Mikey on the Crochet Crowd shows you how to do every single row. Some people say he's pretty fast. I'm not having a problem with it, but you can always slow YouTube down as fast as you want, and also, you know, put it on pause, go back if you need to. Most of this is so easy that you just watch him do a few stitches and you know what to do for the row. Some of them, it took me a few more moments to memorize it, only because there's just a little bit longer you have to remember, but so easy. It's a 7-color mandala, but it's a square mandala. So I will inject an actual picture of what I have so far, which is rows 1 to 40. There are, I believe, 50 rows in this, but this is my All in the Family so far. I am loving it. Each row is so simple. All that you do is single crochet, double crochet, and there's some trebles in it. Nothing else special. You do have to do back loops on some of them, but so easy. we were a little worried. I picked these colors out and I've shown them in a previous video. We were a little worried about the one color and whether it was going to go well, but I just think this is turning out gorgeous. I will tell you that Mikey, when he does his tutorials, messes up in what he does on certain sections. And it really, I think it's just this one section, but I don't know if you can see, this is sticking out. This is a single crochet in the front loop. The pattern tells you to do a slip stitch in the front loop. So he messed up the first time, so he just continued that. There is another row that's just like that, so he continued it. So that's what I did. I just did the single crochet. So if you don't want that raised up portion and you just want it to look sort of like a border there, then you do the slip stitch. But either way, I think it would look really nice. But I did want to let you know, if you're following Mikey, he goes off a little bit. He said he didn't even realize it said slip stitch until he was talking to the pattern designer, and she said, what do you mean you don't remember a slip stitch? And he went back and looked. So he used a single crochet, but it's looking gorgeous. And I'm not sure how big it's going to be. I know what it says it's supposed to be, but we'll see. I have, I think, 10 more rows. So that was my set of whips, basically 3. So I did want to say that I am using I Love This yarn in the worsted weight for that All in the Family blanket. So there's 7 shades, and I will also list those down below in case you're interested in making a similar color palette if you want to make one. All right, Jasmine.
So my first whip that I'm actually showing is the Fossil Frenzy Tea.
Oh, she was so excited about this.
Yeah, I purchased this pattern like a couple months ago, and I just needed to find yarn for it. It looks like this. Hopefully that's not giving a glare. By Hunt Hand Knits. I think her name's different on Ravelry, but I'm not entirely sure. That might have been somebody else. But it's a raglan t-shirt with color work, and I think this is the front. I don't have much, just a little portion of the yoke.
It's a nice color though.
So I'm using 2 colors from Knit Crate Vitellana, the color Misty Dawn and Evening Light. I don't know which one's which, but I'm only going to assume that Evening Light is the dark blue and then Misty Dawn is the light pink. That's what I'm going to assume. There's not much light pink showing yet because it's only a little bit on the collar, but it looks like this. Hopefully that's coming through. But I'm excited. I have a very good stitch marker for the beginning of round.
Can you show it?
It's a little Stegosaurus here. Try to show it. I don't want to knock anything over.
I don't know if you can see yes, you can see the little Stegosaurus. And that's one of the things she got from her Christmas. It was the
Jurassic Park mini skein set. I don't know. My brain was like forgetting what it was. So that is my first. So then I actually started this project before her, but then I went through a little thing where I just couldn't decide what I wanted to work on, so I was just working on a little bit of everything. But this is, how do you want to pronounce?
Plaisir.
Plaisir. I don't know. Yeah. And then this is the photo from the actual, like, designer. There's a...
Down some there we go. So that's what the back of this one looks like.
Yeah, so I'm obviously also using the Wheel of Alpaca. I'm using the Wheel of Alpaca in color 14. 14? I think it's what that says. It's yellow and green. I don't have much. It's just... Am I even showing... I'm showing you the wrong side. It's... Sorry, it's attached. It's making it difficult. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm wearing yellow. I don't know if I'm really...
So, when you block this, you're supposed to really stretch it out. Well, now, one thing I did not do when I did mine, the person that created this has the points on the bottom. There's some I'm not even sure.
On the edging there,
I guess it would be like she'd pull like this down.
She pulls like the points of like the little, I don't know, like petal type things.
So it looks a little more scallopy on hers.
Yeah.
I just kept it the normal curvy shape.
But that's mine. I haven't got very far, obviously. You finished it so quickly, and you were so concerned that I was gonna get done before you. My next little whip that I have is my Doctor Who cross stitch. I finished a whole vertical piece of it.
And now you have the numbers of the...
Yeah, 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of work that you've done since the last podcast.
I have it 11% done.
I think it's looking really cool. Especially since there's now some colors that are a little different popping in there.
I am so excited.
Yes.
This was really one of my goals, and I did, in fact, my goal was to finish half a page each month, and I've gotten 2 whole pages done already this year.
Now, it's been a while since we described this.
2 and like a quarter page done, because there's a little section at the bottom.
Do you remember where you got the pattern, or...
I never remember to say, and I do have it on here, but I never use it on here. Let me see.
Look at her cute little thing holding the pieces together here. Got a little...
Yeah, I was folding it, and I needed something to keep it like held folded. It's not loading. We can link it. It's my... and it also doesn't even say Nenny
okay,
design.
Let's just start saying. So that is.
It. This is I don't know what the Doctor Who silhouette, I assume, is what it's called, because that's what it says. But it says Nenny design. Nenny. I don't know. Mm-hmm. This is the first page of the pattern. If that's helpful. I can't even tell the angle that I'm holding it at.
That's what it will look like.
Yeah. Yep.
Great job.
I'm very proud of this. Oh no. You must have accidentally pinched the thingy. My last whip is half of a pair of Skimmer socks that I started because I had enough yarn left over that it was too much to put into a scrap project, but too little yarn left over to do something like a hat. Mm-hmm. So I found this free pattern on Ravelry, so I didn't even have to pay for anything to do like a little, what are these called? Like
footies?
Are they? Is that what they're called? I don't know.
I think different people call them different things.
We'll call them footies. They're just tiny pair of socks. And
that's the extra from...
It's the Halloween, like the sparkly Halloween, I don't know what specifically it's called, but it's the sparkly Halloween sock yarn from Hobby.
Yeah.
That I made socks out of like a month or 2 ago, maybe. Mm-hmm. But yep, I have 1 half done, and it's a free pattern. But this is a picture that's not showing very well.
Tilt down.
I'm having difficulties.
So it's a pattern by Sheila Toy something.
Stromberg, I think it's Stromberg.
Ah, yes, Stromberg.
But that's all.
That's all.
That's all. That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
I don't think we can say that.
We hope you enjoyed what we've made. So next, if you're interested in this, we will be discussing our Happy Mail.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot.
Exciting Happy Mail. Next, we want to thank Veronica Steele for sending us some Happy Mail. Now, we got this a couple of weeks ago, and it came directly from Amazon. We weren't even sure who sent it because there was not a paper inside saying who sent it, but I found out from another means who sent it, and it was Veronica Steele from, and I'm probably going to say it wrong, it's Steele's the Crochet and More. I think that's the name of a channel, but I will link it below. And we want to thank her so much because she sent us an amazing book, which Jasmine's going to share now.
It's Alice Starmore's, I think. I don't remember how to pronounce it. Charts for Color Knitting, New and Expanded Edition. It says that it's a compilation of charted designs for colorwork knitting. It features traditional patterns from Europe, Russia, South America, adaptations from textiles and other art, including Japanese porcelain and Celtic metalwork. It also has, it has, I think it's a little over 150 pages. And I believe it has a few actual patterns in it as well, but it's mostly just like colorwork charts.
And then near the back, they show a couple pictures.
So, like, this is, I think this is one of the patterns that are in it. There's a glare. Let me just... I can't tell if it's showing. Can you tell me?
It is.
Okay. Because I'm blocking my entire vision.
There are several patterns on some of the pages. Some of them just have two patterns because they're larger, but other ones have many different...
It has, like, motifs patterns, as well as all over patterns. And it does have, like, little sections of, like, these ones are from this region. Celtic. Greece. I don't know why I said it like that.
Really cool. I think that's really cool. And I'm sure Jasmine will use it. I might use it at some point, not anytime soon. I have to get my Christmas presents figured out in my head and get them on needles or on crochet hooks. But that's just an amazing, amazing Happy Mail. Thank you so much, Veronica. We love it. Thank you so much. We have two acquisitions, and the first one is from We Crochet. Now, I believe you can also get these on Amazon potentially, but the first time that you purchase these off of We Crochet, you get, I think it was a 15% off coupon. I got on the bandwagon and bought some dots hooks. Now, the dots hooks look like this with dots. Do you want to grab some?
You were just holding them off to the side too much.
Okay, there we go.
I know.
So they have dots on the bottom.
I'm holding them weird.
People say they're very much like my very favorite type of hook, which is
clovers.
The clovers. I have not tried these yet, so I will do a future video and talk about these.
They don't feel as smooth.
They don't feel as smooth to me, but I've heard some people say they're just as smooth. The grip is similar, feels slightly different to me.
It feels harder. Also, it gets really skinny at the bottom.
Yeah, it does have, there you go. You can see the size imprinted into it, so it's not just written on it. They are a longer hook than the clovers. So I'm going to give these a try and let you know what I think of them. I'll probably be okay with the longer hook. We'll see, because I'm so used to the clovers now. I just love clovers. But people rave about these, so I will definitely give them a try. It doesn't hurt to have extra hooks that I actually like. Because some of the hooks that I have and use, I do not necessarily like. Comes with a set of 9. They are much more reasonably priced, I'm going to say, than the clover hooks. I think clovers might come with 1 or 2 more hooks, but they're about double the cost. These come with a 2 millimeter to a 6 millimeter. I hope you can see that. These are the sizes on them. So I will give you an honest thought on what I think, because I'm hesitant to think I'm going to like them as much as the clover, but I fell on the bandwagon because some people that love clover love these. I will let you know in a future video what I think of them. I have not used them yet because working on that mandala blanket, the size that I need for it is not in that set. I think the next size down. You have to use 2 size hooks in that mandala blanket. I'm not sure if I'll get to the part where I need a lower sized hook, but if so, I think it is in the set.
Not that it matters, because I don't crochet much, but I'm pretty certain that I wouldn't like working with these, specifically because it gets really skinny at towards the end, and my joints in these 2 fingers hurt if I have to like grip something too small, which is why when I'm knitting I bunch the fabric up there. The last acquisition that we have is a notions pouch. I had to think of the word. Notions pouch from Naughty Knitting Sacks. I'm not gonna show the inside. It's skeletons. It's the skeleton
that are having extra amounts of fun together. Now it's time for us just talking about what we've been up to. So if you're interested in that, keep watching. I have been working long hours. So thankfully, during those long hours, I've had some time to knit or crochet. I literally take these with me so that when I do get breaks, I'm doing that. That's when I'm doing the majority of my knitting and crocheting, other than weekends. So most of the time I'm working. I'm at work sometimes 12 hours a day. So that's my life. But we're so excited that the Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom is coming out next month. So excited.
The last trailer was released not that long ago.
Yes, we absolutely love Zelda games, but especially the Breath of the Wild, and we have been waiting for this for years along with everybody else that loved Breath of the Wild. So excited. And that led me to start to play the original Breath of the Wild again, only because I want to get back to remembering the mechanics of it, so I can jump right in instead of trying to figure out a controller with the new game. But the other thing I like the old Zelda games too, and I particularly like Ocarina of Time, and that one is on the Nintendo Online subscription, which we have. So I started playing it. I don't know how far I'm into it, honestly. I can't remember it's been a long time since I've played it before.
You're about halfway through, maybe a third of the way through.
I'm not going crazy trying to get all the special pieces like someone here is, but I'm enjoying it. It's something to take your mind off of other things and just enjoy, especially like older games that I used to love to play. And the other thing, I've watched some TV. I can't even tell because I'm watching it while I'm knitting or crocheting. I did finish The Good Place. That was an interesting ending. Probably the only show that there was no way you didn't know it was the last season, the last episode that I've ever watched. Usually you know because you see things on social media, but or in ads, whatever. This one's very clearly the last episode is the last episode, and it was very enjoyable to watch.
I never finished it.
Yeah, I hadn't watched the last season, so I decided to go ahead and watch it, and it was interesting. Quite interesting how it ended.
I think I only watched the first season. Are you done?
Yep.
Okay. I just didn't want to start talking unless you were done. I also was playing Ocarina of Time. I feel like I said that as one word. I was playing a 3DS version though. So I started and finished that. And as she said, I have a, like, Google Sheets file that somebody else made. I didn't make this one. Somebody else made it and put it up online, and I just happened to use it because they were offering it. And it's a completionist thing for every single Zelda game. So you just mark down all of the things that you've acquired in the games, and it tells you if you've 100%ed the game. I was not trying to 100% the game. I was just trying to collect everything that I possibly could. I wasn't going out of my way to do it.
I'm just trying to get through the game and be able to do it well.
But I finished that game. Which, granted, there wasn't much of this game left to finish. Both of these games. I finished 2 more games, but they were games that I had already put, like, hours into, like, months ago, / when they were first released. And I just never actually did, like, the last bits and bobs in it. So I finished Skyward Sword, and I finished Fire Emblem Engage. And then I read a couple things, but I read the books 2 and 3 of the Knitting Vampire Club. And then I read a couple other books, but I can't remember what they were off the top of my head. Oh well. And I've just been playing Animal Crossing, though, recently.
As you can see, we like different types of games. Animal Crossing is definitely different than, like, Breath of the Wild.
I don't think you like Animal Crossing.
I don't like those kind of games that much.
I think
They're okay
you got
to play,
bored trying to play it when I asked you to play it with me.
I can't play those for very long.
I enjoy it. Granted, I get overwhelmed when playing specifically Animal Crossing. I can play, like, Stardew Valley, where there technically is, like, more to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't get overwhelmed with Stardew Valley. But I get overwhelmed with Animal Crossing. I don't know why.
So what's our plans before next podcast? Well, I don't have any specific plans other than to continue to work on my All in the Family blanket. I want to finish the child's sweater. I might start another child's sweater. And I want to organize and figure out some other things I want to make for Christmas and have a list so that I'm ready. I have been looking at some other patterns for things, but I want to get some of that sorted out in my head and try my best to use stash for those things. That's my goal for the next podcast.
Well, my goal is to... So my previous goal was to work on the Aurora cabin shawl, but then I made the decision to not work on it and take a break from it because I was getting burnt out because of it.
I do need to do a little more on mine too.
So I took a break pretty much all of March from it. And it was like a week or 2 into March and then a week into April that I took a break from it, and then I just recently started going back. But I'm not forcing myself to do large portions of it. I'm just, like, doing a row, like, here and there to try to not burn myself out again. Because it was making me not want to work on anything. Mm-hmm. So I took a break from it, and it's because there's so many stitches. It's not, like, I like the pattern, but, like, at this point there's so many stitches on the needles that, like, it's making me feel like it's work. So I'm not going to make that a goal again. But I am still continuing on with my 700 stitches at least per week on the cross stitch. And then I would like to try to finish the yoke on, is it still called a yoke if it's a raglan? On my Fossil Frenzy tee. I'm not going to be like upset if I don't get it finished, because I do still have quite a few rows left, I believe, on it, but I would like to try to at least get it finished. And that's it. That's it, I think. Oh, you know what? Also, the socks. I really need to finish that other sock. It's not much work. It's literally a tiny little thing. I just need to... I haven't even started it yet. I just need to start the second sock.
There you go. That's our plans for the future, and we will be seeing you again soon. Watch out for any of our future videos that are not our podcasts, because we'll probably be having some in between the podcasts. And we hope that you enjoyed our video. If so, make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all those things if you're wanting to watch our future videos. We thank you so much for your time. Have a great day. Have a great week. Just enjoy your month. Bye.
Bye.